Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We're taking a look here at PDEX, which is Polkadex. And just before we do, we're going to look at Bitcoin first to get a baseline on the market. And just know if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I just have over 15 years of trading experience. My goal is to help you become a better trader. I have a trading community if you're interested in joining, obviously to help make sure that we are all profitable. We're growing our portfolio consistently, and it's a really awesome experience. I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and I trade at about 85% success. So check that out in your own time. I actually have a descriptive video for that. But for right now, let's take a look at Bitcoin first. Quick understanding. We have a support channel between 58 and 60,000, resistance channel between 65 and 66. Now, right in between is the price action about 63,000. It's kind of been hovering right around there for a little while. But generally speaking, the price bounced off of 60,000 about 3 days straight, right? So it wouldn't break below there. So it does kind of reiterate the fact that we're going to get a nice strong support there. We've also got a secondary support here as well, based on the volume profile. So if you take a look at this, you can see there's a large amount of volume right at about 55,000. So if we do lose this support channel, I think 55 would be the next best entry point for a price to see the price bounce back, right? And just keep this in mind too, there's a strong likelihood that if the price does come down there, it's going to be healthier and better for Bitcoin. In other words, if Bitcoin just ramped up right now and went straight to 100,000, we'd have a problem with a significant retracement, right? Just like we're experiencing now, or what we should be experiencing even more so, with this 60% increase over the course of just say 3 weeks, it didn't have any time to consolidate or retrace, right? So we need to have more consolidation. We need to see the price go sideways for a little bit longer in order to identify, kind of not only reiterate stronger support levels, but the lower the price is, the stronger it'll bounce back, if that makes any sense, right? So just keep that in mind, something to note for the future. So it is ideal, honestly, if the price were to retrace down to 60, between 60 and 55,000. That would be awesome. All right, so let's take a look here at Polkadex. Now, one of my community members asked me to go ahead and take a look at this because it's hard for them to identify support and resistance zones, which I can see that right here. Obviously, there's not a strong amount of just noticeable, entry points, right? We can maybe take a look at, Fibonacci and kind of identify that. There's a chance we could, but this looks like a bull flag pattern to me. So let's take a quick look here, right? And just so you can see what I'm referring to here. Take a look at this guy. So look at bullish flag continuation, right? You see it comes up, channels down, comes up again. If we come here and take a look at this, this looks like a pretty obvious bullish continuation, right? So if we see that, if you can kind of see the pattern there, price comes up, channels down, and continues up, right? So there's a strong chance we're going to see that. And we also got this little ascending pattern here as well forming. So we very well could see a breakout to the upside soon. Again, this isn't a guarantee, of course, but I definitely see a bullish flag pattern forming here, and I do think that perhaps it might continue downside a little bit further. But I think that once it breaks this resistance from the volume, we're going to see an increase. And what I mean by that is there's obviously a channel of volume right here at this point, right around $21.35. So we can see it kind of getting rejected out right there too. So when we break that and kind of continue upward, just kind of creating a resistance level here. So generally speaking, we can pretty much say that it's going to have an ascending wedge pattern breakout fairly soon, as well as the fact that we have that bullish flag. All right, so I think that Polkadex is due to increase and to break out here soon, just based on that sentiment alone. Granted, this isn't a guarantee, right? patterns, I would say they're about 60 to 70% likely, right? They break to the upside more often than not when you have a pattern like this, but there's still that error on the side of caution, right? Never truly know, so make sure your stop losses are in place. That's kind of what we're looking there for Polkadex. I want to say Polkadot, obviously. Well, that's not the case. So let's just go ahead and look at some other metrics too, see if there's anything else we can identify. The price is trying to break 50 on the RSI. You can kind of see that it's kind of stuck below, at least for the last few days. So once it breaks back above, that'd be a very good sign. Also note too, we have a divergence on the MACD, which isn't terrible. I don't really put a lot of weight on this on the 1-day chart, but the bottom line is it's kind of trying to break to the upside here, and it looks like it might recover here soon. So again, if Bitcoin suffers and just drops down to 55,000 tomorrow, we won't see this bounce back right away. It'll probably leg down again to hit that lower support channel and then possibly break out again eventually. But I still feel like right now, if just say Bitcoin continues to go sideways and that domination comes from Bitcoin and filters into coins like these, which is happening more often than you expect right now, because there's a tremendous amount of money going into Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin people take their profits, right, they're worried about the price going down, that domination recedes and it comes into altcoins like these. So that's kind of what we're experiencing here. So I think that's a strong consideration there. Let's take a look at the 4-hour, and really, these are the most important things here. I like the RSI's up over 50. It does look like it's declining here as well. Not sure the reason for that. We also have a potential divergence on the MACD too. So not great signals, not great signs here in this sense, but I can tell you though that the price, could likely bounce off of this here, just based on the overall sentiment and where things are going. But just keep in mind too that there's still a great chance the price could come down and bounce off somewhere around $13, come up to break this resistance eventually. Because again, these lines I drew minus the minus the actual descending pattern that we see here that should break to the upside. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to do that, right? This is more valid, I would say, again, like I mentioned, 60-70% likelihood, but it's not a guarantee. So just bear that in mind, okay? So I would say, be cautious, be careful, but this does have potential to increase, especially with Polkadot, the fundamentals that are there. There's a lot going on. Do your own research, of course, but it's a very strong community, a very strong, has really good fundamental fundamentals that'll cause a catalyst to increase, right? So I do think it's just a matter of time before this takes off, just based on that sentiment alone. But regardless of that, the technicals here are looking fairly good, not in the short term, but more so the long term, okay? Because short term right now, it's got a lot of bearish qualities, but I would say within the next couple of weeks, we will definitely see a breakout. That's just my speculation, especially if Bitcoin breaks above its all-time high, and we crank past what 67,000 I think it was. We're going to see this one take off. Let's take one last look here at TD sequential, kind of see how much more continuation of the downside we will witness. And keep in mind the price is going to break down below the cloud here soon too, so that's also not a great bullish sign. But TD sequential, taking a look at this here, we're looking at an 8. Right, so hypothetically we should only have about 1 more hour worth of consolidation retracement, and it could break to the upside. Another thing to note too, this is still making higher highs and higher lows, right? We got higher highs and higher lows. So as long as this low here doesn't go lower than this, then we're in pretty good shape. Okay, so again, it still has some decent qualities, right? There's a lot of conflicting information here, but that pattern is definitely looking good, right? So again, let's take a look at that here. It's considered to be a bullish variant flag. I just refer to it as a bull flag, but it's a continuation, right? Because it comes up, essentially consolidates to the downside, and then breaks to the upside. That's exactly what we're seeing here with this guy right now. Okay. So again, great stuff. Good. Overall, I think there's more positive than negative here, and I think there's a likelihood of it breaking to the upside. It's just how long and how soon will it happen? It's hard to say specifically. If we can keep making higher highs and higher lows and break this channel, then we'll be in pretty darn good shape, right? And I think, again, loosely, we'll see that in the next 2 weeks, but maybe even sooner, depending on Bitcoin's behavior. Even though this isn't extremely reliable on Bitcoin, Polkadot is, right? And this is essentially, moving sideways with it, essentially, in a lot of ways, right? So just keep that in mind. Some big picture stuff, of course, going on, but do your own research, of course, and also, do your own research on my CryptoCache Premium account. That's actually half the reason why I'm creating this video is for one of my patrons, and I just really love being able to get to know everyone better and help you become better traders, right? So that's the whole point of this, is to impact your quality of life, your family, your kids, the whole 9 yards, right? It all comes from investing correctly. So don't gamble with your money. Be smart, be wise, take your profits while you still can. And in this case here, make sure you're careful, set a stop loss, but make sure that you be patient here, because I think this is likely to break out to the upside. That being said, thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing the next video. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you.